Welcome to the Darkstream. Vox Day, voxday.net, and unauthorized.tv. No Arcade Nights tonight. Also, I need to turn a light on over here. Hang on a second. There. That should give us better lighting. There we go. So, we're going to do a special soccer stream tonight. I was inspired by watching a bit of Big Bear's analysis of the comedian performing at the Trump rally. I was going to say Republican National Convention, but I think that was a few months ago. Anyhow, I just thought it might be interesting to get a perspective. A lot of people enjoyed the analysis that I did of the Euro final. Between the European Championships between Spain and England. So also tomorrow, Dorking Wanderers Football Club is going to launch their Kickstarter campaign for the 25th anniversary book, which Castalia is publishing for them. There's going to be a basic hardcover, a basic paperback. There's going to be a special manager's edition. There's going to be a special 25th year anniversary edition, and then there's going to be some leather editions. So those of you who are leather book collectors might want to pay attention to it, maybe not. Again, this is not our crowdfund. I'm not going to be pushing it the way that we've been pushing the Hypergamos. It's bugging me. It's like not quite straight. There we go. We're not pushing it the way that we're pushing, an Archaven or a Castalia crowdfund. Obviously, we're supporting it. We hope it goes well. We'll mention it just in case. I know there's a number of Dorking Owners Club members in the community. So, but again, we're just letting you know about it. It's not like, hey, please support this, etc., etc. So. Sapien Avenger, hey Vox, got my War and Peace volumes 1 and 2. Well, congratulations. What do you think of them? I'm curious to, the overall reaction has been very positive to them. We haven't been quite as good at getting books out this year as we were hoping to. We've been good about history. The library has been not quite as quick just because of the transition to our binderies, but I think that we're going to catch up rapidly in 2025. We've got things much more under control. In fact, just today, we got the proper glue was determined. So, it is amazing. It is astonishing the amount of details we did not know. He says, nice, they are impressive. I'm going to need a bigger shelf. Yeah, I know what you mean. If you look behind me, there's now 3 shelves that are completely full of Castalia books, including War and Peace. We've got both a library and a library up on the shelves there. And pretty soon the Franklins are going to have to start coming out of the 2 shelves below it, which I'm pretty pleased. I'll have to show you a picture of the library at the chateau. That's coming along really nicely as well. So, but anyhow, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. First, we're going to look at a game that was a tie game they tied with Salisbury, and I'll explain why I was actually inspired to send a video of an American football game to the management team. and then we'll look at the most recent game against Welling United. So we'll switch over here to this screen so we can get more action in. And what I'll do is I'll stop the I'll stop it and comment as we go, as seems to make sense. So this is the game against Salisbury. Oops, hang on. Let me. I need to make sure I turn on the right volumes here. There we go. Need the default volumes on. Okay, now we'll try it again. Okay, so this was an interesting play here. For some reason, are we getting any volume here? This video may not actually have any sound. This particular one. The second one does. So what's happening here is, let's just back it up a little bit. Okay, so there's the cross coming in from the side. You notice how he juked the left winger out of position so that he could get the cross in. It's coming over, punches it out, but then Jack Young, in one of his first games, volleys a really nice ball into the net. That's just quality there. Okay, here we got the sound coming. You can't plan for that sort of thing other than teach the players to take the shots. Now that may sound obvious, but what Jack Young did there, and he's a highly skilled player. He's a center mid, ball control guy, a lot of talent. So instead of, a lot of players in this position, when the ball comes out right here, see how he comes in? He's already attacking the ball to shoot. That's not normal. It's very difficult to control the ball. 90% of the players, even at this level, who hit the ball here, it's going to go 30 feet over the net and 10 feet to the right. And so, it's interesting when we slow it down and look at this, because what we can see is even before the ball is halfway to him, he's already thinking, I'm going to shoot right away. He's not trying to trap it and then take a shot, because if he does that, look at the two players who are right to his right. If he traps it, if he doesn't trap it perfectly, one of those two players is probably going to get on it, in time to tackle him. Plus, he's got 1, 2, possibly 3, 4 defenders in between him and the goal and the keeper. So the only way that he's able to get his shot off unmolested is to hit the volley, which he does, and beautifully. Whoop. Excellent goal. And there you see that that's actually difficult. There's a similar situation. In some ways, a little bit more difficult because he's kind of having to twist sideways. In some ways, it's a little bit easier because he has more time to see it coming in. And even so, he doesn't get clean contact, and the ball just dribbles off to the side. But at least he attacked right away. Now that was a nice play by Jason Pryor. He's a tall, really strong forward, very experienced player. He's been with the team for a while, and now he gets a lot more opportunities than he finishes, and so let's watch again and see if he, what he tries to do is he tries to head it across the box to his teammates, but I'm wondering if he would have been better just to put it directly. That was definitely the right play by Pryor. He's moving to the right, and he's too wide to really get a decent shot on goal, or header on goal. There's a defender right on him, so he puts it across, and they did have a good chance, but the other player just put it wide. Let's go back. Look at this again. First we have, okay, in fairness, they shouldn't have ever had the opportunity in the first place. The defender, at first he thinks he's going to head it, and then he decides at the last minute that he can't. Now the defender did do one thing correctly. He didn't jump. A lot of players with the ball going over them, they jump even though they know they can't get it, and then they're not in a position to do anything. Now, because he didn't jump, because he just turned, then he was able to put some pressure on that's Alfie Rutherford, and prevent him from just having an easy tap in. But the ball bounces high. I think he should have headed it over rather than let it come down and try to tap it past the goalie. The goalie manages to get a block. It's the post. And that's just a bad shot. I think that was, I'm not sure who that was, but you know, one of the mistakes that a lot of players make when they're going sideways across the goal is they don't turn their hips far enough. You almost never see somebody miss the goal when they're turning by turning too much. It can happen, but you very seldom see it. Usually what happens is the player doesn't turn enough and then puts it wide, just like that. They played a lot. Salisbury didn't have a lot of ball control. It's just a bad play by the defenders there. Now, look where the defender is right there. He's got a totally open field to his left. All he has to do, and he's got a midfielder coming at him. So all he has to do, he can flip it to his left, and he's not only got the open player, he's not only got this big open space and the player that's in front of him, but he's got the player who's coming up from behind him on his left. So this should be an easy clearance, but you know, he makes it complicated. So first he makes a bad touch. Jack Young attacks him and closes him down and forces him to pass quickly. Now, there's 3 Salisbury players there. This shouldn't be a problem here. But watch. The Dorking wing comes in and pressures him, and the Salisbury right wing panics. He just taps it over not realizing that the defender's retreating. Both Dorking players break on the ball. Dorking gets the ball. And there's a quick shot. Goalie does it's not really a hard shot to stop, but what the goalie did that was very important is that he managed to prevent there being a rebound, because you've got two Dorking players breaking on the shot, as you're supposed to do, so that if he doesn't hang on to it, it's an easy goal. Great play by Dorking. Dumb play by the Salisbury defenders on several levels. I mean, how far out he is there. The top of the circle is, I mean, that's the 18-yard box, right? So the top of the circle is about 20 meters. So he's probably that's probably a good 26-meter shot that he's taking. And again, notice as the ball's coming out, he's already preparing to shoot. He's not thinking about passing it around at all. He's going to take the shot from that distance. It's kind of interesting because Jack Young is not as dominant a player as Charlie Carter, the captain. And Charlie Carter is not playing in this game for personal reasons. And so it was interesting to see Young try to step up and play from. He didn't actually play terribly well in this game, but he did do a very effective job of taking his shots from distance, which is really important because Dorking tends to be, at this level of the National League South, Dorking is one of the best teams in the league. So what the teams have been doing is they've been playing a version of the Italian catenaccio, or what the English call parking the bus. They all stay back and play defense and then just take their opportunities when the midfielders lose the ball, passing it around. Now, this shouldn't be a problem, except for the fact that Dorking has been an underdog for 25 years. Teams like Juventus, teams like Manchester City, they're accustomed to teams playing them that way. All the Italian teams know how to play against teams that park the bus on them because it's an Italian style. A team that's been an underdog for 25 years really doesn't know what to do when the other teams are playing as the underdogs. And so what Jack Young has been doing, and he's a new player to the team, is very, very important, because one of the ways that you beat catenaccio is you take shots from outside the box. And that's something that the team was not doing earlier in the season. You're winning 2-0, you're dominating the game, and then you do this. So what was wrong? What happened here? Well, watch. So there's the long ball. Should be but look where we are here. There's a header from a Dorking, I believe it is from, let's look at this again. I believe it's from a Dorking player too, actually. Hang on. Goes long. Yeah, a Dorking player, and that's where it's always a mistake to just wildly jump and head the ball, because he heads the ball behind his own player, and the Salisbury player breaks on it. Now this is the big mistake. The Dorking player gets there first, But he tries to head it back to his keeper when his keeper's way back there. There's two mistakes here. Number one, the defender has to be aware where his keeper is. And number two, the keeper should have come out way off the line. If the keeper is already up near the top of the box, this is under control. But Harrison Folks is late to react to the dangerous situation. So because he's so far back and so far delayed, the Salisbury attacker has no problem getting to the ball. Folks makes the mistake of playing the man and not the ball. It's just a failure. This is just disastrous. I mean, and the reason that it happened was because after they had the 2-0 lead, they started playing very defensively. Instead of attacking, controlling the ball and finishing it off, they pulled back. They had a man advantage. That was the significance of the previous card. The guy actually got sent off, I believe. So they had a man advantage, a 2-goal lead, and then they make a dumb mistake, give away a penalty, and then they're still just playing too passively. In soccer terms, this is very similar to when a football team, American football team, goes into a prevent defense. The problem isn't just with the defense letting the other team make yardage and get into scoring positions. It has a tendency to cause the whole team to start playing, just start phoning it in. And that's what we saw there. Suddenly, boom, boom, 2 goals in the last, 2 minutes. Now, part of the problem was that he'd also made some substitutions, and so he had an old defender in who was playing too conservatively and just let the guy, you had the bad pass, giving away the ball because they're playing. They're playing kind of half-assed desperately, and then they're not playing aggressively to close down the attack. At this point, Dortmund is So that's how the game ended up, 3-3. It was very frustrating as a fan. It was very frustrating as somebody who knows about good soccer, because that was a game that should have been won. They should have won that game 3-4-0. Instead, they're walking out of there feeling lucky to have tied the game. And so this is a good lesson for life. Always finish. Just last weekend in the NFL, the tight end from Atlanta had an open field, was running into the end zone, got careless and just kind of put the arm down. Antoine Winfield Jr. from the Buccaneers had chased him down and knocked the ball out of his hand. Now, if he wasn't actually aiming to knock the ball out of his hand, he was aiming to tackle him. if he'd actually focused on the ball, he would have knocked it out of his hand before he crossed the goal line and scored a touchdown. So they were Atlanta was very, very fortunate that, I mean, literally 1 or 2 tenths of a second sooner, and that ball is knocked out of his hand before he enters the end zone. Touchback, Buccaneers ball. You have to finish to the end. I'm a former NCAA D1 sprinter. One of the first things that we were taught by our coaches is run through the tape. It's okay to sort of stick your chest out a bit as you're running, but you don't raise your hand, you don't look around, you don't celebrate, you run through the tape, because it's happened many times that people relax and then get passed right at the end. It's no different in soccer, in football. If you pull up, if you relax, you tend to get beaten. You certainly increase the chances that you will be beaten. Now here's the most recent game. I prefer this alternate angle that they use. I think this is actually done by a bunch of amateurs, which is the professional unit that films the games for their own documentaries. They've done I think they're in their 5th season of documentaries about dorking. Anyhow, this is the game against Wellington United. That's actually the guy from Bunch of Amateurs juggling the ball right now. He's kind of impressive. This is just some of the pregame stuff. Mark doing his usual pregame interview. They're missing Charlie Carter on this one.
So go and enjoy a pre-match beverage ahead of kick-off this afternoon. After the kick-off, anyway.
Obviously, one of his fans. By the way, if you look carefully behind the camera, you can see one of the Castalia Library signs. Jim and Neil's one of my favorite players.
Stand up!
This angle really lets you see how good the techniques are and the level of speed and control that they've got. I mean, look at that. Didn't work, but it's still a nice game. Yeah, that was not a good play right there. 27 should have been on the ball. He let it go. Let it go, and then literally let the attacker get it. Fortunately, Fred's been captain. This is really nice right here too, I think. By the way, notice on the back of the jersey. Oh, this is really nice too. First of all, notice on the back of the jerseys the Castalia Library. That's pretty cool to see it, especially when you can see in the background on the family stand. There's the Castalia Library sign. Now watch this very nifty little move that Norville Williams pulls. They may not be a premiership or championship level team, but they've definitely got skill. That's nice. Then he blows the pass. And that's why we're in the national set. This coming up here is some poor defensive play. Fortunately, it's a bad shot, but there's two defenders who have the opportunity to prevent a shot, but they're being too passive in the box. This is one of the problems when you've got a team that tends to control the ball, is that they tend to be too relaxed when they're defending because they're not defending. So I said volume is too low. Okay, I'll try turning the volume down. We'll cut the volume by half there. So so watch what happens here when he passes into the center, and you'll see one defender has a chance to slide and block it. The other one has a chance to possibly get the ball first. Right there. Okay, so you've got Young, 28, has a chance at the ball, and then there's another defender. Craig is in the middle, and then there's another one off the screen to the right. All of them have the opportunity to get there first. But as Norville Young's too slow. Jack Young is afraid of getting a penalty, and Craig, I'm not sure what he was doing. He was just standing there the whole time. That should have been a goal. That probably should have been a goal. But again, National League South. Again, that's some poor defending, right? We got lucky there. I mean, Rutherford tucks it away nicely, but look at this here. The mistake is Norville Young heads it up. Again, remember what I told you about how you should never try to head the ball? If it's too high, don't try to jump up and head it. Well, they've got this big, strong defender there, but the ball's, when Norville Young heads the ball in towards Rutherford, is too high. He can't get to it. And so when he heads it, he tries to head it back to his keeper. Keeper's not ready for it. And he spills it, right? Now, Jason Pryor, you can see him running in there from the right. He's one of the things he's really good at is just jumping on opportunities in the box. He's a very frustrating player in some ways because he doesn't finish, he doesn't score with his head as often as he could, but he does a nice job here. He sees the goalie, spills it, runs in, gets there before the goalie, and just flips it over him. Rutherford pops it in. Easy goal. It's not offside. Rutherford's actually behind Pryor. That worked out really well. And that's why you have to keep pushing and pushing, because about a third of your goals are going to be cleanup goals like that. That's a nice play, but you know, it was in that awkward area where it's too low to head and too high to kick. So we got a little lucky there. Now this should have been a goal. The whistle wasn't blown. The whistle was just blown after the goal. But the referee incorrectly decided that because the two players had collided, that the play had stopped before he stopped the play. There's Jack Young, bring it up. Nice pass. Cross, and he puts it wide. That's the kind of thing that I'm talking about with Pryor. He gets these opportunities. He puts himself in the right place. He gets the opportunities, but he doesn't finish. No, it's 1-0 at halftime. Probably should have been 2-1. Jimmy Muir's a good player. A little bit disappointing there. Could have done a little better with the shot, but it's a good play, good shot. Again, you see how active Muir is. He's just always pushing forward, always driving forward, always making the pass. That's Theo Alexandru, he's the new player. Very talented. Nice build-up, but a weak shot from Brookings. You can see Mark's unhappy. Like the baby in the behind the net. That's funny. This is phenomenal. Look at that. Look at that. That's what you call class. You know, when he actually flips the ball over to himself to get around the defender. Doesn't even wait for it to bounce, just puts the volley right in. I think they'll show I think they might show a slow down replay. I hope they do. Okay, maybe not, so we'll do it. We'll go ahead and do it. So look at this. It's headed back to him. That's a nice play. But you can see he already knows what he's going to do. He's going to trap it on his chest, most likely, if I recall correctly. But I mean, so he traps it on his chest. Now he's got two defenders coming towards him, one from behind and one from in front. He's not worried about the one from behind. But if he's going to get a shot off, he's got to get around the guy who's coming at him, right? Now this is really nice because what most players are going to do is they're going to push it ahead of them and then try to shoot. And that might work in this situation because Gallagher's in a position to put a pick on the defender and then the other defender's down, so he might get a clear shot this way. But he can make a clear shot by flipping the ball over to himself. So he flips it over the guy, but he's now got four defenders that he's facing. So unlike most players, he's not going to let it bounce and try to control it and shoot. He's just going to volley it while it's in the air. Beautiful. Yeah, and you got to have a pretty high level of skill to do that. You have a pretty high level of skill and a good degree of awareness. That's why Mark went out and signed him, because he's got that kind of skill. He's got that kind of class. And so we don't need to go through I think we've covered enough of that for now. But anyhow, let me know, I know this is not necessarily what people pay attention to the Darkstream for normally, but normally we would be doing Archaven Nights. Obviously there's a lot of news on the comics front coming, but we're going to wait until next week to talk about that. Now that JDA is back. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this little soccer stream. I see that we only kept about half our audience, so maybe this is not most people's cup of tea, so we probably won't do it very often. But if you did enjoy it, if you do like it, let me know on Social Galactic. And that's really all I've got for tonight. So have a good evening. I'm Vox Day, and this is the Darkstream.